Hello everybody! Today we are reading The Legend of Red Eagle because I fancy it actually, and I'm here with Lydia again, and me, of course. So yeah, join us to read The Legend of Red Eagle, please. Thank you. If you want to, obviously. Disclaimer, I'm Yorkshire, so I have a horrible accent sometimes, and I'm dyslexic, so please give me some slack. Thank you. The Legend of Red Eagle by Tredin Dren, activist of Winterhall. This tale was transcribed from the memory of Clarice Veen, student of Winterhall. Elements of the legend suggest a date C.1e 1030, although, as with any oral tradition, much of it is likely a later anachronism. Curiously, stories of a similar king and his legendary blade appears in other ancient myths of the Reach. Long ago, a child was born in the Sundered Hills. They named him Feolan, which means Red Eagle, in the tongue of the Reach, for the screeching bird call that greeted his birth and the crimson blooms on the autumn hills. Thus began his legend, Reach child, born under auspicious skies, his very name the colour of blood. That squeaking in the background is my guinea pigs, guys, just to let you know. 10 kings ruled the Reach in those days, and though men were free, the people were scattered and worried, I don't fucking know, amongst themselves. The Argers foresaw the boy's destiny, a warrior without peer, first and foremost Lord of the Reach, chosen to unite all under his name. Feolan grew in years and strength, and it seemed the prophecy would be fulfilled. The banner of the Red Eagle was raised along the cliffs of the Reach, and his people prospered. Then came Hestra, Empress of the South, riding to war. One by one the kings stood before her. One by one they fell aside, bending knee in imperial bargains, or slaughtered on the battlefield. Her legions came at last to the Sundered Hills, and envoys were sent to bargain for their surrender. Feolan refused to yield the freedom of his people, but the elders were afraid, cast him out, and accepted the imperial yoke. I think that's what that says. Thus was stolen by the foreign invaders his land, his people, his very name. In the years that followed, Red Eagle became known as the untamed spirit of the Reach, unbowed, unbroken, stained by the blood of his foes. He gathered loyal Reachmen to himself, those who clung to the old ways, who yearned for freedom, and forged a new nation. Together they fell upon the occupiers and the traitors by night, disappearing into the cliffs and caves each morn, evading capture. It was not enough. For every imperial patrol and garrison they wiped out, yet more seemed to march from the green south to replace them. One night, under a cloud-choked sky, the men of the Red Eagle warmed themselves over damp fires of smouldering moss. A huddled, shambling figure came to them, cloaked in rags, face cowled. Though his men mocked and cast stones at the stranger, Fiolan sensed something and beckoned. The cowl was thrown back in the dim light, and she revealed herself to be one the ancient, and I can't even read now. And she revealed herself to be one the ancient and vulnerable hag-ravens. She offered power for a price, and a pact was made. Thus was brokered to the witch his heart, his will, his humanity. From that day forth, his was a spirit of vengeance, pitiless and beyond remorse. The rebels grew in strength and numbers, and none could stand against them. Fiolan's eyes burned coldly in those days, black opals reflecting, and a mind not entirely his own. 2 years passed, and the foreigners were all but driven from the Reach. Such peace could not last, however, and a great host fell upon them, a swift army of invaders unlike any before. For a fortnight Hestra's generals laid siege to Red Eagle's stronghold, till he himself came forth for battle, alone and robbed in nothing but his righteous fury. 1,000 foreigners fell before his flaming sword, and the enemy was routed. Yet, when night fell, so too did he. The warriors who came to him said Fiolan's eyes were clear again, and on that final night. He was taken to the place prepared for him, a tomb hidden deep within the rock. With his remaining strength he presented his sword to his people, and swore an oath. Fight on, and when at last the Reach is free, his blade should be returned, that he might rise and lead them again. This was given for his people, his life, his dream, his sword. But when every debt is repaid in blood, these he shall reclaim once more. The end. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed that. Sorry that I'm not a very good person to read. I'm not a very good reader. So thank you for putting up with me, like always. And we'll see you in the next one, really. Goodbye.